Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to go over something that could be ruining your dating life and talk about the challenges of anxious attachment. So I actually read this incredible book called Attached. This is not sponsored, this is not an ad. I just really loved this book, and I think that every teenager, every adult who is single, married, in a relationship, whatever your status is in life, I think you could really benefit from reading this book. I got a lot from it, even though I'm engaged. I found it to be incredibly helpful. And 5 years ago, my little anxious attached self could have really used this book. So just a recommendation, I'm going to be talking about some things mentioned in this book today. But generally speaking here, I think that a lot of people struggle with anxious attachment. Of course, there are other attachment styles as well. I can make videos about that if you guys would want to see it. But I do think anxious attachment is something that a lot of people struggle with. If you're struggling with dating and you feel like you're very clingy with women and you don't know how to cut out this behavior, I'm going to cover some things today that might really help you. So what exactly is anxious attachment? Anxious preoccupied attachment is an attachment style in which a person experiences anxiety in their relationships with significant others in their lives. It stems from attachment theory, which argues that childhood experiences can affect our relationships later in life. So if you're someone who tends to be very insecure within your relationships, who find yourself being needy and clingy and desperate and just feeling all of these negative emotions when it comes to being in a relationship or finding a partner, this could be something that you are experiencing and maybe you don't even realize it. We want to feel loved, we want to feel valued, appreciated, and secure. These are very normal things for us to want as human beings, especially when it comes to a romantic partner. But sometimes when these wants are driven by this fear of abandonment or rejection or afraid to lose someone's love, these things can really start to control us in our relationships in a negative way. So people who are anxiously attached often come across as very emotionally needy. In an attempt to cling to their partner and bring them closer, they actually might end up pushing them away, and you might be self-sabotaging your dating life and your relationship without even recognizing it. So before I get into talking about the traits of someone with anxious attachment, I first want to talk about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. May is a month to raise awareness about mental health, fight stigma, and provide support for anyone struggling with their mental health. This year's theme is Together for Mental Health, sharing personal stories in hopes of encouraging others to prioritize their mental health. So I actually started doing therapy sessions with BetterHelp last year to help with my anxiety, and my therapist Janie was able to help me pinpoint exactly what was causing my anxiety and what I can do on a daily basis to help out with it. Another big theme of Mental Health Month is advocating for access to mental health care. This has long been one of BetterHelp's goals. They offer customized online therapy that includes video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline therapy. You can apply for financial aid during the sign-up process, and they accept HSA benefits. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help access your specific needs, and then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours. Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions, plus you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. So this Mental Health Month, if you or anyone you know is struggling, please share BetterHelp with them. You can use my link down in the description to get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/Courtney Ryan. That's better, HELP/Courtney Ryan. All right, so now talking about the traits of someone with anxious attachment style. This might look like insecurity. So insecure or anxious about their worth in a relationship and low self-esteem. Maybe this is a need for constant reassurance from their partner, just really displaying insecurity within themselves and within their relationships because of this low self-worth, feeling like you're not good enough for your partner, putting your partner up on a pedestal. I know a lot of you have written into me that this is something that you struggle with, as do a lot of people, and insecurity is something that can take over your life if you let it. Someone with anxious attachment style might be clingy or possessive, so the fear and insecurity lead them to be clingy, attached, and possessive of their partner in an attempt to latch onto their partner and bring them closer, but actually might end up pushing them away. Another one is fear of rejection. This could be a fear of abandonment, a fear of being alone. This is characterized by constant doubt and worry, overanalyzing, overthinking. Maybe someone didn't text you back right away and you're automatically assuming that they're cheating on you or they don't want to be with you anymore. So it's when your mind kind of instantly goes to worst case scenario, or this person doesn't want me anymore, I'm going to be alone, or I'm never going to find anyone else. This constant fear of rejection. Another is jealous or distrusting. So worrying what they're doing 24/7, thinking that they're going to cheat or leave you. Another is overwhelmed by intimacy but have a longing for it. So if any of those things I mentioned sound like struggles that you have or things that you deal with in your relationship or when you're talking to someone new, you might be struggling with anxious attachment and not even know it. So now that I've talked about the traits of someone with anxious attachment, what can you do to fix it if you're someone who does have anxious attachment style? You might be thinking, well, what can I do to make sure that I'm not, insecure or have a low view of self or being clingy or possessive or needy? I don't want to be like that, but I can't help it, right? So what are some things I can do to make this not happen to me? And I also want to read this really helpful excerpt from the book. It says, "This is an important lesson for someone with anxious attachment style. If you just wait a little longer before reacting and jumping to conclusions, you will have an uncanny ability to decipher the world around you and use it to your advantage. But shoot from the hip and you're all over the place, making misjudgments and hurting yourself." So often I think when we overanalyze or overthink, we are just self-sabotaging. We are hurting ourselves before there is even any reason for us to be hurt by our own thoughts. We are using our thoughts and something that doesn't even exist to hurt our own feelings. And it's so silly when you think about it. I am someone who deeply struggled with anxious attachment in the past, so I totally understand if you're someone who is feeling that way. And you overanalyze and overthink everything to a point where, again, you hurt your own feelings and you misjudge things and you take everything so personal and sensitive. And anxious attachment is not like a horrible thing if you have it under control, but when you let it get to a point where it's controlling you or your relationships or self-sabotaging, like I mentioned, that is not a good or healthy thing for you. So I'm also going to read off some things to you that people with anxious attachment might do when they are feeling like they need to get that closeness or clinginess to their partner. These are called activating strategies. So some of these might look like thinking about your mate, difficulty concentrating on other things, remembering only their good qualities, putting them on a pedestal, underestimating your talents and abilities and overestimating theirs. What does that sound like? Sounds like the scarcity mindset. An anxious feeling that goes away only when you are in contact with them. So you only feel better when they're talking to you or with you or texting you. Believing this is your only chance for love, as in, I'm only compatible with very few people. What are the chances I'll find another person like him or her? Again, with the scarcity mindset, this is Exhibit A. It takes years to meet someone new. I'll end up alone. Believing that even though you're unhappy, you'd better not let go, as in, if she leaves me, she'll turn into a great partner for someone else. He can change, or all couples have problems, we're not special in that regard. So if any of those sound like you might be struggling with anxious attachment, and I think it's really important to recognize this and realize this about yourself so that you can work on ways to improve it. So now that we've covered that, I have some homework for all of you. Number 1, be aware. Simply just knowing this about yourself is the first step. So many people go their whole lives without doing any sort of internal self-reflection or thinking or understanding why they do the things they do or why they act the way that they do. They also say your triggers are things that you need to heal within yourself and things that you need to work on, and they're not anybody else's responsibility. So I think taking responsibility here, again, being aware, knowing this about yourself is the first step. And just speaking from personal experience here, I wish I knew this about myself years ago when I was dating and I was just anxious and insecure and worried all the time about what my partner was doing. Because there was a lack of trust and they were cheating on me, but that's besides the point. I was also incredibly anxiously attached, which is not a good thing. It was not healthy for me. It was not healthy for the people that I was dating. And I can look back at my past self and see where I fell short. And I can see things that I did wrong too and where I maybe wasn't the best partner. And that is crucial for moving forward and being in healthier relationships, in the future is, okay, what did I do wrong in the past that is not helping me or moving me in the direction that I want to go in my future relationships? When you're self-aware, you can deal with things in a more productive way and find solutions to the problem rather than just continuing the cycle over and over. Number 2 goes back to that little excerpt I read, and that is wait before reacting. Take a deep breath and take some time to really think about things before you send a really hasty message or respond right away or get nasty or overanalyze or overthink. Just really take some time with yourself, take a few deep breaths, calm yourself down, let your nervous system come back down to, kind of normal level here, and really be able to think through things logically before making moves or saying something strictly out of emotion. Think before you speak and really think about what is triggering me to feel this way. am I justified in feeling this way, or am I overreacting or reacting because I am feeling insecure or because I'm afraid this person is going to leave me, or whatever it is. It could be a million different things, but really stop to think about it and why you feel that way. And lastly, here is to date someone secure. I know this is like a long-term homework assignment, right? This is not just something you can do overnight and wake up and expect to be, securely attached and ready to go. This is a practice run for a lot of people, and it takes work and effort in yourself and also in your relationship. But dating someone secure is important, especially if you're someone who is on the anxious side. Anxious people tend to go after avoidance, which is like a poison dynamic. It just is going to make your anxiety even worse if you are someone who struggles with anxious attachment. Looking back at my past relationships, I was anxious dating avoidance, which was a horrible match and a horrible combo. And now that I'm engaged, I understand that I am with someone secure, and I have a secure attachment now because I am with someone secure. So an example I can give you here is a anxious woman dating a bad boy type because he is avoidant, because he is mysterious, because he is hot and cold, because he is playing games. And people, who are addicted to that chaos, who maybe have a childhood of trauma, or they, long for the trauma bond or the chaos, they constantly go after it, are going to go after someone who is avoidant instead of secure, because the secure person might feel boring, or there's no spark there. As you've probably heard so many people say, oh, there's no chemistry, there's no spark. Well, that's because it doesn't feel chaotic and anxious like your entire life has been. So if you want to be in a healthy, secure relationship and you are anxious, going after someone who's avoidant is not the move. And I want to read a little excerpt from this book about dating someone who is secure. It says, give secure people a chance, but the abundance philosophy loses its effectiveness if you fail to recognize a keeper when you find one. Once you recognize someone you've met as secure, remember not to make impulsive decisions about whether he or she is right for you. Remind yourself that you might feel bored at first. After all, there is less drama when your attachment system isn't activated. Give it some time. Chances are, if you are anxious, you will automatically interpret calmness in the relationship as a lack of attraction. A habit of yours is not easy to shed, but if you hold out a little longer, you may start to appreciate a calm attachment system and all the advantages it has to offer. So again, if you are someone who struggles with anxious attachment, don't date a girl who is playing games with you, or playing hot and cold, or ghosting you, or using you. You want to go after someone who is secure and who doesn't activate your nervous system and make you feel crazy, right? The chances of success for someone who is in a relationship and experiences anxious attachment are much higher when you date someone who is secure. So again, keep in mind, I am not a medical professional here. I just read this incredible book and wanted to share it with all of you. A lot of my channel is about being the best version of yourself, prioritizing your mental health, which is why the BetterHelp sponsorship in today's video is so fitting. So if you feel like you might be struggling with this, take it a step further. Go get help if you need it. Go sign up for BetterHelp and take a therapy session if you feel like it could benefit you. Sometimes you have to go further than just watching my videos. As much as I would love to say, I could cure you or help you, that is not my profession, and I'm really just helping you see the potential in yourself and ways that you might be sabotaging your dating life or yourself, and you might not even realize it. So knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you'll be. So take it or leave it, but I really wish I knew this 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and I think anyone can benefit from reading this book, whether you are single, in a relationship, married even, to understand yourself a little bit better and why you do the things you do. So guys, if you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. Always love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. And again, if you're interested in checking out BetterHelp, the link is down in my description box. It's betterhelp.com/Courtney Ryan. That's better, HELP/Courtney Ryan. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.